What do Damian Marley, the Dubliners, MF Doom, and Bewitched all have in common? Yes, they're all musicians, but what type of music brings together multiple genres including pop, jungle, traditional folk, rap, and reggae? The answer is Stoutwave. You might not have heard of it, probably because I just invented it, and nobody has ever intentionally set out to make a Stoutwave song. Stoutwave can incorporate any musical tradition, can have many lyrics or none, come from Ireland or abroad, and has no really significant criteria save one. It has to mention Guinness. Welcome to Publin, a podcast about the culture, history and heritage of pubs in Ireland and abroad. You've all heard Irish drinking songs played in pubs around the country, making reference to porter and whiskey, but it might surprise you to know that there's lots and lots of songs made around the world that pay homage to, draw thematic parallels with, and mention Guinness in all its forms. Some are love songs, some are humorous, and some I've yet to discern what meaning they have, if any. Once you consider it for a minute, the likelihood of there being songs about Guinness is not that far a stretch of the imagination, but it's the diversity of the songs that make these homages to the black stuff stand out. People do tend to be fiercely loyal to Guinness as a drink compared to other beverages of similar sales. Just take a look at the various Guinness raters, memorabilia collectors and Guinness bottle badge enthusiasts to be found all over social media. Rating Guinness is a cottage industry at this stage. Heineken sells similarly well across Europe and elsewhere in the world, but there's far fewer Facebook groups and rating pages devoted to the perfect pour or the flawless Instagram pint photo for that drink. So, it's only natural that Guinness should be a more inspirational source for artists, and Stoutwave is the end result. In preparation for compiling these tunes together, I scoured the internet for any song that made reference to Guinness in the lyrics or titles, or had the drink as a theme running throughout. I listened to some truly terrible music along the way, but found a few songs that, upon listening to them a few times, actually stayed with me. Today I'm going to take you through the top 10 Stoutwave chart. The criteria for the chart is simple: most amount of views and listens on YouTube. After each song, I'm going to tell you what Dublin pub you're probably most likely to hear that song in. You might be in with a chance of finding your new favourite song, and also your new favourite pub. Equally, you may not. With that in mind, strap yourself in, pour out a can, and begin to enter the musical landscape of Stoutwave. And now, I'll stop saying Stoutwave so much and get down to the actual music. Starting off our countdown at number 10 with 19,000 listens is a musical group that will be familiar to anyone who was in primary or secondary school in the late 90s to early 2000s. It is, of course, the uniquely Irish pop stylings of all-girl band Bewitched. Bewitched started their careers extremely promisingly, with 4 number ones including C'est la vie and Blame It on the Weatherman. After 2 highly successful albums, both in Ireland and abroad, the group were dropped by their music label and split soon after. In 2012, they reformed and set about making some new music once more. These efforts culminated in an EP by the name of Champagne or Guinness. Here's the title track from that EP. And here's a sample of the lyrics from one of the verses. We like to feel like we're feline. The moonlight is stroking me. Be a man and admit you know you're into me. So come on, yeah, come on. Champagne or Guinness, it doesn't matter till we're finished. Champagne or Guinness, it doesn't matter till we're finished. Champagne or Guinness, it doesn't matter till we're finished. So come on, yeah, come on. It's the pint of plain for the new generation. Basically, it's a song about going out on the lash, on a date with a fella, and being up for the crack, and whatever type of drink, and whatever type of night. And what type of pub might you expect to hear this tune in? We're going to be stereotypical and say this is a Copperface Jacks kind of song. A pop-loving duo are out on the lash and want to keep the night going, so they end up in Coppers on a Wednesday. And coincidentally, this is the type of bar or club where they'd play this song. Our first international entry on the list hails from Poland, a country you might not think of as having deep roots with the drink, but I could be totally wrong on that. And it's true that bonds now exist between the Irish and Polish people that weren't simply there in the pre-Celtic Tiger period. At number 9, the hip-hop duo Air King and Soul Pete released their song, simply titled Guinness, on their 2020 album Mr. Happy. If the song lyrics are anything to go by, then the album title is quite sarcastic. It's a song filled with downbeat emotions. He shares his recollections of being homeless for a week in the UK, drinking too much, and what he feels to be real and fake in life. Through very impassioned delivery, Air King uses a pint of Guinness as a metaphor for his mood, referencing especially the darkness of the drink. This is the sad song of Stoutwave. Let's listen.
Mam myśli czarne jak Guinness, mam myśli gorzkie jak Guinness, mam myśli zimne jak Guinness, myśli ciężkie jak Guinness, myślach gęstych jak Guinness, tonę. Mam myśli czarne jak Guinness, mam myśli gorzkie jak Guinness, mam myśli zimne jak Guinness, myśli ciężkie jak Guinness, myślach gęstych jak Guinness.
So let me translate some of that for you. Here's some of the lyrics. In thoughts thick like Guinness, I'm drowning. I mean as black as Guinness. I mean as bitter as Guinness. I mean as cold as Guinness. Heavy thoughts like Guinness. In thoughts as thick as Guinness. The song has 70,000 listens on YouTube. Don't worry, the tunes get happier after this point. So if I were to guess, I would say that you would be likeliest to hear this song in Tramline on Hawkins Street. And if you're wondering where that is, it's because you, like me, are too old to know. So far as I can discern, the song General Guinness was made and released by Boys of the Loch, an Irish-Scottish Celtic folk band, in 1974. It's a humorous song portraying Arthur Guinness as a great military leader, except what he's revered for is getting people drunk rather than leading them into battle. It's the type of storytelling folk song that you can imagine Christy Moore covering at one of his live gigs.
He's good old General Guinness, he's a soldier strong and stout. He's found on every bottle front and can't be done without. His noble name, his worldwide fame, deserves 3 hearty cheers. So hurrah for General Guinness of the Dublin Boozleers.
The Boys of the Loch pipped Air King and Soul Pete to 8th place by just 8,000 listens. Let that be a lesson to the Air King fanboys out there. Get playing it on repeat. Mixing its references for Guinness, its accessible folk music vibe and sing-along ability, we're going to suggest that you'd be likely to hear this song in Pater Carney's on Dame Street, where audience participation would be encouraged. At number 7, we have our first English entry of the bunch. The Business are from Lewisham in London and are a creative punk band that wouldn't be far off early Clash material. Their song Guinness Boys can't be said to be about anything other than just having a few drinks, getting a little bit messy, and having a bit of wholesome fun. Wholesome by punk standards. Their song is from the album Hardcore Hooligan, which features a number of football-themed songs such as Southgate, brackets Euro 96, Viva Bobby Moore, Maradona, and England 5, Germany 1. We're creeping up with the listen count now, with Guinness Boys getting 194,000 listens. I get the feeling that The Business might play downstairs in the Thomas House, where alternative music of various forms finds its home. The number 6 spot is occupied by none other than 4-time Grammy Award-winning reggae artist Damian Marley. Damien is, of course, the youngest son of reggae legend Bob Marley. Bob's greatest link to Ireland was playing Dalymount Park in 1980, and Damien's greatest link is his song Me Blenda, which has the alternate title of Peanuts and Guinness, a combination that he references at putting into his blender. It sounds like it makes for an interesting cocktail.
A Guinness and peanut me put in a me blender. One of the champion for y'all contender. And if she wanna be a fan club member, I'm gonna give her something to remember. Guinness and peanut me fling in a me blender. One of the champion for y'all contender. And if she wanna be a fan club member, you're gonna get something.
A Guinness and peanut me put in me blender. Me a the champion fi all contender. And if she wanna be a fan club member, she gonna get something to remember. A Guinness and peanut me put in a my blender. I'd wager that if it still existed, you'd be most likely to hear this song coming out of the Sweeney Mongrel and into the back of Dame Lane. It got 300,000 listens, so it's clearly a popular one. Welcome back. We're entering the top half of our chart now, and at number 5 we have an Irish group that would be everyone's first guess for a band that might have a Guinness themed song. It is, of course, the Dubliners. Well known for their hearty song set in and around the pub, relating to whiskey and porter, this particular song makes direct reference to Guinness. The song is called Drink It Up, Men. It's a short 2-minute song that lists the merits of stout for those who drink it, and also the pitfalls of its consumption. Unlike some of the other songs on the list, this song is not cloaked in metaphor, and is instead explicitly a drinking song.
It's Guinness's porter that has me this way, for it's sweeter than buttermilk and stronger than tea. But when in the morning I feel kinda rough, me curse on Lord Ivy who brews the damn stuff. Drink it up, man, it's long after 10. Drink it up, man, it's long after.
The first verse goes like this. At the pub on the crossroads there's whiskey and beer. There's brandy from cognac that's fragrant but dear. But for killing the thirst and for raising the gout, there's nothing at all beats a pint of good stout. Drink it up, men, it's long after 10. It's 322,000 listens for this song so far. Clearly not the most popular or well-known of Dubliners' tunes, but still popular nonetheless. We'd wagered that if you were to walk into the Brazen Head on any day of the week, the odds of you hearing this song would be high. And so we hit number 4, and the only song on this list that I can outright say I don't like. It's a boastful song about the musician's prowess in the corporate and sexual worlds. That's what I get from the Google translation, anyway. The song is called Guinness by Recycle J and Selecta from Madrid. If there's a point to this song being called Guinness, then it's lost on me. This Latin tune has grossed 488,000 views, and if it were to find a home in Dublin, it'll likely be in Dicey's Garden on a Wednesday night. Maybe the Dubliners are the only other act in this chart that could rival our next contender for musical credibility. At number 3, MF Doom is widely known as a cult figure in the world of rap and hip-hop, being regarded as the rapper's rapper. His songs could be described as a form of clever lyrical wizardry that featured at times nerdy themes and references. His onstage persona was enigmatic, as evidenced by his wearing of a mask when performing. He was a prolific producer, creating over a dozen albums, and sadly he passed away in 2020, aged 49. But luckily for us, he collaborated first with Angelica and Four Eyes on the 2016 song Guinnesses.
I should have deaded it from Genesis instead of hitting the Guinnesses. Now I'm free falling, cursing, matching, street brawling. He ceased calling, no appetite to feast, darling. So deep all in, I bet he never stopped balling. Women forsake God for the sin of a man. Sacrifice a whole life for a slice. Overstand.
Some interpretations of the song speculate that it's about a dysfunctional relationship in which one of the partners takes to drink in the aftermath of the relationship. Hence why, despite Guinness only receiving one mention in the song, it's referenced in the title. Over 500,000 people have listened to this song on YouTube alone. Given that MF Doom is somewhat of a cult personality, we think he might pop up on the playlists in Cassidy's of Westmoreland Street, where the music is somewhat alternative. This is the Stoutwave song that Father Fintan Stack, the jungle-loving priest in Father Ted, would listen to. It's a fairly simple track from drum and bass jungle artist Selecta J-Man. The lyrics, mostly on repeat, are one spliff, couple Guinness, presumably describing the ideal night in. There's not much else to say about the song, so let's just give it a listen.
One spliff, couple Guinness.
I can definitely picture people listening to this in the basement of Wigwam on Abbey Street. 648,000 listens was not enough to get Selected J-Man even close to the top spot on the chart, which is held by a Floridian punk band by the name of Against Me. The song, called Pints of Guinness Make You Strong, is about the lead singer's grandparents, one of whom was an alcoholic but was good-natured to his wife. Guinness isn't specifically mentioned in the song, but the title plays with the Guinness is good for you or Guinness gives you strength slogans. This song would undoubtedly be played as a cover by a band in the Mez. Our playlist ended on a bit of a downer note there, but I'm sure there's a song for everyone in the Stoutwave charts. Thanks again for listening to Publin. If you've heard a song that mentions Guinness that merits mention in the charts, or if you have anything you'd like to share, please send me, John, an email to publinie@gmail.com.